Hi everyone, Ian Mellor here at Orange County National, and today I'm going to cover the topic of loading the trail side in backswing. This video has been prompted by a player that I have been helping online, and I just felt as though the concepts I'm going to touch on would help a lot of other people out there, so I hope that you find this helpful. First, we're going to start off discussing the face-on view at setup, and my keys in setup really are to, one, have the joints lined up, so you can see there from ankle to knee to hip, they line up really nicely. From a foot position, I pretty much get everyone to start with toes turned out just a little bit. The foot position actually relates a lot to the range that you have in your hip joint. So if I was to toe my right foot in, then I'm actually internally rotating the femur bone in the hip socket, so it reduces the amount of rotation that I can get. That may be helpful for some people that have a ton of range and struggle with control, but for most people a good starting point is toes just very slightly toed outwards, and from there, as I mentioned, we just line up the joints from ankle, knee to hip. From there, I'm now going to move down the line. The objective is, with the pelvis, if I use my club as a reference, to get my club head pointed as high as I possibly can behind me up to the sky, and from there I can really feel a good load in this right glute, all around this right hip. And to go face on and reference those three joints, ankle, knee, hip again, is like as I turn into it and as I'm trying to get that club point up to the sky, you can see that I keep good connection to the ground with my right toe, outside of my right foot and my heel. From toe to heel, I might have a little bit of extra pressure in my heel, but there's a pretty much good amount of pressure throughout that right foot. Okay, so that's the feel there. You could even put a stick through your belt loops to work on this in the backswing. Okay, so that's the feel there. There's a few keys that we're looking on, or looking at, I should say. So here's a couple of drills to help you. The simplest one, and the one that I like to use the most, is just getting set up well, taking that left foot back, and just making one-legged backswings as a feel, and feel that load that we had in the back of that right glute when we were doing the body drills a minute ago. So just feel that there, and then come into the shot and really try and recreate that same feeling. Okay, that felt pretty good. And then my second drill, very closely behind the first one, is you can see I've got my towel here. I'm actually going to double it over quite a bit because obviously it's going to compress when I stand on it. But I would go shoes off for this drill if you're able to do that. I'm lucky enough to be in Florida, so can do that a lot if I need to. I understand a lot of people can though, but if you need to keep your shoes on, just keep them on. Get that towel under that right heel, and that's gonna really accentuate that feel. And again, feeling like we're really getting that right hip nice and high in the backswing. Another key point, actually, before I forget, is that when we're doing that, if I do a good job and I'm keeping that pressure into the ground through the right toe and the heel, and the knees over that foot, and I get this nice and high, I really get a big crease in the pants here. So a lot of people, when they don't load, you really don't see that crease in the pants. You see a lot of rotation, but without seeing that crease that you see. And if you look at all the best players and how they load, you'll notice that it's a great little indicator of whether you're actually loading that right hip or not. So again, back to this drill. This just exaggerates that feel. You'll feel it a lot more when you're doing that. And you can even hit some balls from there if you wanted to give that a go as well. Okay, so there's a couple of drills and a couple of concepts to keep in mind. Some great stuff actually that you can do at home, away from hitting, and these are really fun ones to try on the range. Go on and give it a go, play with them, and let me know if you have any questions.